There's not enough guaranteed money up front. I'm just telling you that it's an unbelievable deal for the Chiefs, I believe, because I think that's how special Patrick Mahomes is. And I just think that when you see $500 million, everybody goes crazy. Well, there's a lot of things that have to happen for him to get over $500 million, right. And some of those are likely to be earned incentives, and some of them, while right now we think he's going to achieve those, 8 years from now, that may not be the case. So basically what this comes down to, instead of I thought he would get somewhere between $40 and $45 million a year in new money. So his new money is really $45 million a year, but that doesn't really kick in until 2 years. The thing that bothers me about all of this is that, his signing bonus and his guarantees aren't really where they should be for what he has already done in the NFL in only 31 games, by the way. Yeah. He's only done this in 31 games.
Has he played in one of those 31 games? Has he played a bad game?
No, he has not, and you know that because you've heard me say that many, many times, and I know that you're trying to get me to say that again just to annoy our listeners out there. But it's a good deal for the Chiefs, man. It really is, because right now his cap hit for the next 3 years is going to be $5.3 million. $24 million and change, and then $31 million. So that's nothing over the next 3 years in terms of the cap hit. So that's good for the Chiefs. It's good money management, all of that stuff from the owner's side. And I know it's hard to argue that it's not enough money, but what all I'm talking about is the money that's up front and the money that is guaranteed. So congratulations to Patrick for. Again, remember, these are not baseball contracts. These are not NBA basketball contracts. These are professional football contracts, and there's all sorts of caveats that come through this. And, the agents want to beat their chest, and they want to tell you, I got the first $500 million deal and all that other stuff. Come on, man. I still don't think that he'll see all of this. I think for a player of his magnitude, it would have been better to sign a shorter deal with more money up front. I love what Russell Wilson did with the Seattle Seahawks. He signed a 4-year extension for $141 million. That's real money that he's going to see every single dollar of, and he has a potential out in his contract if he wants to get out in a couple of years. The thing about this contract that's kind of unique is that the Kansas City Chiefs have got to come to Patrick Mahomes a year before and say to him, we want you again next year, or he then becomes a free agent. So, look, everything is great now. He's entering in year 4. He's played phenomenally the last 2 years. But 4 years from now, 5 years from now, 6 years from now, that may not be the case. And remember, he's already been hurt once, and he's missed a couple of games. Now, what's really amazing is that he came back and played so well after that, and then he ultimately led his team to the Super Bowl. But I think it's a good deal from the Chiefs' standpoint. I would have liked to have seen a lot more guaranteed money up front, a bigger signing bonus. But at the end of the day, I guess it's a compromise, and everybody seems to be going batty about it all around the country.
Well, because we're not used to seeing 10-year contracts in the NFL. I understand, but there is a
so stop saying that's people got to stop saying it's a $500 million contract.
I just said a 10-year contract. I didn't say $500 million. I don't know what
you said $500 million in the opening.
Earlier, yes. I said with the potential. If you want to play it back, I said with the potential to is what I said.
All right.
But why wouldn't people be going batty at it? I mean, it's going to be $45 million a year, most likely. I mean, that's what's going to be happening is $45 million a year, most likely. Yeah, there's an injury guarantee in there, and that could change. I get it, but chances are he's going to be making $45 million a year playing quarterback for the Kansas City Chiefs. And I think there's a reason why it ended up going this way. One, he's someone that is just very unassuming as a superstar, and he's not going to push the limits on certain things when he could. But he's like a compromise type of guy. And I also think that, coming off a Super Bowl victory, everybody's feeling great about everything over there. There's no contention between parties with Patrick Mahomes, the Kansas City Chiefs, the city of Kansas City, nothing. Everybody loves one another, and it's ended up working out. I mean, Patrick Mahomes is going to be very well compensated. The Kansas City Chiefs are going to be able to still do business while paying their quarterback a lot of money, and everybody's going to be happy. I think it's just good for everybody. Isn't this one of these deals that's good for everybody? You can't say
yeah, I mean, you can't. But it's not what it says it is. That's all I'm saying. Look, I know he's a $500 million athlete, and He deserves every penny because of He's must-see TV. Everybody loves him. There isn't one maybe the people in Denver and Las Vegas and the LA Chargers aren't too keen on him. I get that because they see him twice a year, but this is the face of the NFL. This is the elite quarterback. This is the quarterback that's better than everybody else. This is the quarterback that puts the time and effort in. He is the face of the franchise, face of the shield. I don't care what anybody says, and I don't even think Richard Sherman would have a problem with this contract. But I have a problem with it because I just think it should be more guaranteed money up front and more overall guaranteed money. That's the thing now, and I'm sure the agents will come out and they'll argue that we can get out of this if we need to, or we're forcing the Kansas City Chiefs' hand later on in this contract to make decisions before they really want to, which then will probably guarantee a lot of the contract. I just always have to remind people that NFL contracts are not.
Sure.
This is not the contract that Mike Trout signed.
No,
now, he'll be listed.
Everybody. A lot of people know that, though. I mean, a lot of people know that. And what's the one way that he doesn't get the money? The one way.
Well, he can get injured.
Right.
He could end up, not playing well, and they can get rid of him.
Stop. We know he's going to play well.
Dude, it's hard to think of that in
He's
terms.
going to be fine. He's going to play well.
The next
you think
five,
he's going to get benched?
5 years, no, of course not. The next 5 years, he's going to be awesome. There's no question about it. But there is a significant risk of injury. You never know. The other thing, too, and I don't think it's going to affect him because he seems like he's a great kid. You just never know how money affects people and what it does to them and the security that it brings. And I think it's one of the reasons why the Kansas City Chiefs did this now is because they recognize this is a really great guy. This is a kid who is committed to the team, and you hope that commitment remains this way. I personally think that he should have gotten a lot more guaranteed money up front. He got a $10 million signing bonus. What is that? And when you take a look at it overall, and I'm looking at Spot Track right now, they're telling you in 2020, this coming season, Mahomes will earn a base salary of $825,000 and a signing bonus of $10 million, and he'll carry a cap hit of $5.3 million and a dead cap value of $64 million. He got $141 million guaranteed at signing. To me, he's a $200 million guaranteed at signing, and he's a $150 million signing bonus guy. That's all. And I know because of the way the contracts are. I know the way that the contracts are. Like, he's drafted in the first round. So just like Jamal Adams, the Kansas City Chiefs basically have him tied to them over the next 2 years, and they don't really have to pay him. But they had to pay him because you got to keep him happy, and he is the MVP, and he is the best player in football. Now, Jamal Adams is going to look at this and go, oh, wow, they're doing this to Patrick Mahomes. I got to do it with me with the Jets. This is the mindset of the player.
Oh, stop. He's a totally different situation. I mean, it's the best quarterback in football. He's an MVP who just won a Super Bowl, and Jamal Adams is a safety on one of the worst teams in the league. It's not the same thing. If he's thinking that, it's stupid. I'm sorry.
No. Listen to me. What I'm saying is that he's not talking about this kind of money, but he's talking about Patrick Mahomes being the face of the franchise and being a quarterback, yes, and he's worth $45 million extension a year, yes, okay, fine. I am the face of your defense. I am the face of your team. I'm not saying that I deserve $45 million, but I'll take $19 to $22 million a year. This is what signings like this do, which is a good thing. I think this is a good thing overall because the perception is that the Chiefs are really reaching into their pocket and paying this guy, and it's going to raise the salaries of everybody else, something that Tom Brady hadn't done in the meat of his career. Think about that. Okay, everybody lauded him for taking less money so they could build around him.
Right.
And I guess you could say the same thing here because there isn't a lot of guaranteed money or signing bonus money up front here for the Chiefs. So they can mix and match and pay some other players. Maybe they'll be able to pay Chris Jones now because he's going to want he wants a huge contract as well.
Yeah, I'm sure Pat Mahomes knew what he was doing. I'm sure that there were concessions on his part, especially at the age that he is, how well he is playing, how the quarterbacks are protected now better than ever in the NFL, especially when you are a superstar. And chances are, if he stays healthy, he's going to be making every penny of this, except for the 503 comes in if he wins the MVP in the Super Bowl every year. So that's probably. I mean, it could happen.
It's not going to happen though.
But I mean, that's chances are that part's not going to happen. But he can play. I mean, I'm surprised that you would find fault with this.
I don't think it's enough. I don't think it's enough upfront money. That's what I'm saying. I think I listen. I have not changed my opinion of Patrick Mahomes. I think he is the face of the NFL, and I think he should be paid as such. But again, to compare this to Mike Trout's contract is ridiculous.
Oh, nobody's doing.
Yes,
doing
they
that
are doing it. It's all over the place.
Well, who's
ESPN's doing it. Pro Football Talk's doing it. Pro Football Focus is doing. Spot Track's doing it. Everybody's doing it. Oh, look at this compared to Mike Trout. Mike Trout is 100% guaranteed.
That's all it takes. But all it takes is a little bit of thinking to be able to put that to rest, right? I mean, it's real. Honestly, it's up to the people to understand that. It's not that hard. It really isn't that hard.
Well, if the people who are covering the league are covering it that way, I'm sorry. It's again for those of us who have had NFL contracts, we know what they're all about. We know, there's fugaziness throughout these contracts.
Sure. Right.
And my whole thing is, I would have loved to have seen him break the bank when he came to a signing bonus. That's what I wanted to see. And, we didn't see that here. But the guaranteed money is only $141 million. So, and, he's going to take this contract all the way to 2032, assuming that the Chiefs alert him a year before that they want him for the next year.
Yeah, but also when you're that young and you're someone who is, and I know he ended up getting a little bit hurt last year, but the goal is for him, and it's more likely than not that he will earn every cent of that base salary in the first few years of that. So that guarantee number is absolutely going to go through the roof. I mean, it's not like he's going to, there's certain guys who sign deals that you have to hit every incentive to make a decent number, and they might be older and they're more of a position of risk, whether it's a running back or something like that. And with Patrick Mahomes, I mean, with that base salary number in the first, you would think, 5-6 years of this deal, he's going to be out there playing, earning every bit of that.
He already has earned it and has already outplayed his contract, much like Dak Prescott has done down in Dallas, but not to this level.
No. And I know people want to say, well, this raises the number for Dak, and I get that, but at the same time, it's hard to compare those
you can't
two.
Compare the two guys.
It's very difficult to do that.
The only difference that you do compare them to is like Eddie Jackson, the free safety out in Chicago. He was a second-round draft choice. The reason Chicago gave him a contract extension is because there was no fifth-year option for the team. If you are a first-round draft choice, there's a fifth-year option for the team to keep you if they want. And that works against you as a player. If there were ever a player in this league that had major leverage, this was the player right here. And I'm not disappointed at the overall number. Of course I'm not. But I am disappointed that the guarantee money is not as big as it should be, and I don't believe that the signing bonus is as big as it should be. But when you take a look at the roster bonuses that he's going to receive starting next year, he'll get a 21.7 roster bonus next year, 27 million roster bonus in 2022, and then it goes all the way up to 34 million in 23 and 24, and then after that, I mean, it goes 38 million, 49 million in 2027. But those are years like you don't know what the TV contracts are going to be like then. You don't know if Amazon, Google, or whoever else, Twitter, or Twitch, TikTok, whatever the hell they are at that time, how much more money that the NFL is going to be making, and this kid's going to be front and center in every deal the NFL makes. This is the face of the NFL, and this is the face that you're going to see probably on national television. I don't care how many restrictions, somehow, some way, they're going to get him on 425 games. He's going to be on Sunday night games, Monday night games, Thursday night games. He's going to be everywhere.